You know, folks, not all politics is bad news. A lot of times I do reports that are just sad and I hate to read them, and there's a lot of them that I just refuse to put up that are, I guess the best way to say it is offensive, heartbreaking, make you angry. And I'm not trying to entice anybody here on this channel to get mad and go do something stupid. That's why I try to be selective on the videos that I do put up. But one of the things I tend to do is follow a lot of different politicians on different social media sites just to see what's happening. I follow a lady named Kat Kemick out of Florida because she steps right outside the house when the end of the day happens in the house. She'll step outside a lot of times and break her phone out and give you live coverage of what just happened behind closed doors. I really like that. That's a great angle to have. Um, James Comer, Jim Jordan, Nancy Mace. There's a handful that I've watched pretty closely just to see where they're appearing next, because that's where we're going to find out the next bombshell revelation that will seal the deal. There is more than enough evidence to say that the Bidens are corrupt. It's all organized. There's no more alleged stuff other than it not being proven in court. That's just my opinion for YouTube's sake. But truth be known, they found out about another $3.5 million transaction involving the Bidens, and they believe that it is involving, they can prove it is involving Joe Biden as well. And James Comer gets into that, and James Comer actually answered a couple of questions today. He was on Maria Bartiromo, and about 11-minute video clip, pretty easy to find on the internet. But I watched this thing, and he answered one particular question that I was been curious about. Will the Bidens ever be sitting in front of Congress or sit in front of a judge and a jury to answer questions? A deposition trial. I would love to see it. I can't wait for the day. And what I see and hear from James Comer is it's coming. Uh, One of the things he said in this video that really just blew me away was when we get to the point that we get past all these witnesses, more people that work with the Bidens to sew up all the facts, 3 or 4 more, he said, at least. He says, then we will start subpoenaing the Biden family. And that is, that's what I wanted, folks. I was looking forward to that. I hope that's televised so the whole world can see Joe Biden stutter. And can you imagine him answering questions for 4 or 6 or 8 hours before Congress, with every other person that gets to ask him questions, destroying with the truth, and asking questions that he can't handle because he doesn't have an answer, because he's a liar. That's just how I feel about it. Um, I will say that this is a really powerful piece of information. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next week. When they get back from from vacation, and get back in session in September, they're going to go through a big allocation process of what they're going to do about defunding some of these agencies if they don't act right. And I can't wait to see that. And about that time, they'll be going through the next list of witnesses. And at one point, they're going to start calling in the Biden family members. And James Comer says it right here, folks. Stick around. I do have a theory as to how Biden will get impeached. And it has to do with the fact that he'll avoid showing up. That's my guess, but I won't spoil it for you, folks. Let's go ahead and get into the video.
Overwhelming evidence that Joe Biden was very involved in that policy decision, because one of the bank records that we disclosed yesterday showed that his son received over $3 million from this Burisma. And remember, Maria, in that Form 1023, the oligarch brags that it would take investigators 10 years to unravel all the different money that he sent the president's son and the president because they sent it through so many different bank accounts and so many different shell companies. Now, remember, we've already proven that the Biden family has at least 20 shell companies. Even the money that was sent from the Kazakhstan to Hunter Biden for the car was sent to a shell company. I mean, this is a pattern that the Bidens have done to hide the source of the revenue and then to deceive the IRS so they wouldn't pay taxes. If it's not bad enough that the president's family has been involved in a pay-to-play scheme, on top of everything else, they didn't pay a penny of taxes, according to the IRS whistleblowers, on the over $20 million that they received from our enemies around the world.
Unbelievable. Have you presented all of this to Joe Biden? Have we gotten any answers from Joe Biden? I mean, he has said many times, including to Peter Doocy, that he has no knowledge of any of these transactions or business deals, never talked business with Hunter Biden. Shouldn't we be able to hear an answer from the Bidens, given all of your reporting? I mean, it's been nearly 2 months since the House Oversight Committee obtained that FBI whistleblower document accusing President Biden and Hunter Biden of taking a $5 million bribe each from Burisma. Newsbusters is now reporting that ABC, CBS, and NBC have not spent a single second covering this explosive allegation that, in fact, a sitting vice president accepted a bribe from executives of Burisma. $5 million to Joe, $5 million to Hunter. Congressman, are you going to present this with Joe Biden and ask for answers? Are you going to subpoena Hunter Biden?
That's the magic question. This is the whole sole purpose of the game. Getting the people that are guilty of the crimes, not just the counterparts, but the ringleaders. And maybe Joe Biden's maybe not be the ringleader. It may be Obama. This may be something that Obama and Hillary and Biden cooked up together. Who really knows at this point? That's just my speculation from what I see that they've all three done involving shady kind of deals. I'll get into some of those details on another video, but you're fixing to hear the answer as to what's coming. And it won't be soon. It won't be for another couple of months. But folks, by the end of the year, it's going to be ugly. That's all I got to say about it. Let's go ahead and get back into it.
They had Don Jr. under oath during the Trump administration, and they asked him all sorts of questions about what we understood at the end of the day to be a lie about Russia collusion.
Yeah, this is always going to end with the Bidens coming in front of the committee. We are going to subpoena the family. I mean, we're putting the case together to win in court. Obviously, with all the opposition and obstruction we're getting from the Biden attorneys now, we know that this is going to end up in court when we subpoena the Biden. So we're putting together a case, and I think we've done that very well. We've shown the bank records. If I had subpoenaed Joe and Hunter Biden the first day I became chairman of the committee, it would have been tied up in court, and the judge would have eventually thrown it out, because at that time the narrative was, well, they never took any money while he was vice president. He never had any communication with his business associates, and the money never came from China. We've had to go every step of the way and prove the media narrative was wrong, and the vice president and the current president lied. We have caught Joe Biden in so many lies, I can't even count the number of lies now. So we have put together a case that I think would stand up in any court of law in America, and we hope to hear from the Biden soon. But I wish the media would ask the president, what exactly did your family do to receive this $21 million that the House Oversight Committee has proven?
That's the magic question, folks. What were they selling? They don't sell widgets. They don't sell property. They don't sell stocks. None of that is on record. So the only things the Bidens had for an income was Joe Biden's salary as a government official, and the fact that probably started with lobbyists. He ended up being the point man, and his son being the bag man for a multinational scheme for, I'm guessing, at least 10 years, if not longer. At this point, we're looking at least 10 years, and there's, Nancy May said, around $50 million that she could account for looking in the skiffs, and I don't doubt that, because it was 170 transaction reports uh, that were SAR, suspicious activity reports, that threw up red flags. That means that was 170 transactions. The Bidens were making money hand over fist for a very long time, doing just what they did, muscle people on the phone with WhatsApp messages, and it's all coming out, folks. It's just a matter of time. The Bidens are going to have to answer some questions. It's going to go through the court process. They may have to. It's only going to get uglier from here for the Bidens, and it won't help his campaign at all. They're probably going to push him out of the race before this is over, just from the pressure they'll be getting from Mr. James Comer and Jim Jordan and all the other great Republicans, not rhinos, but Republicans we've got in these committees that are trying to get to the bottom of this garbage situation that we call the presidency. Like, subscribe, and share, and vote Patriots. If you haven't already, I'll play a little bit more of the video, and we're going to jump out of here.
Continues to say, well, that's a lie. That's not true. We have their bank records, Maria.
Right.
Bank records don't lie.
Congressman, when are you expecting to subpoena Joe and Hunter Biden?
Well, we want to talk to about 3 or 4 more associates first. We've been communicating with a couple of them. We're trying to bring them in just like we did Devin Archer for a transcribed interview. If they don't come in voluntarily, then they'll be subpoenaed. So this is taking a lot longer. But if you look at how the special counsel, Durham or other special counsels conducted investigations, I think our committee is going a whole lot faster than any other congressional committee in history and any other special counsel.
Yeah.
This is a complicated case, and we're being obstructed every step of the way by the Department of Justice, by the FBI, by the Secret Service, by the IRS, and by the Biden family attorneys.
Wow.
But that's not stopping us. We continue to produce evidence about every 2 weeks.
Well, we would not know any of this without your work. So thank you for exposing all of this. Have you been able to identify more policy decisions that Joe Biden made to placate these foreigners for giving him money? I mean, I'm trying to get to the fact of what exactly he's being paid for. And I understand it may be in some cases that it's just influence. You know, him writing a letter to Devin Archer saying, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't get to you sooner. I had to, host the president of China in that letter that he sent to Devin Archer. But thanks for working with Hunter. Great to see you. Hope you enjoyed the lunch. There's the letter right now on fancy vice presidential stationery. What are the decisions that he made that perhaps he got paid for in addition to the Shokin prosecutor firing?
Well, one of the documents that we released yesterday showed a $3.5 million payment from a Russian oligarch. And then when Russia invaded Ukraine, the president was quick to put sanctions on all the Russian oligarchs except one, the one person who sent his family $3.5 million. So that would be hard to explain.
Ain't that a bitch, folks? Doesn't that tell a story right there? The only one that didn't get sanctioned was the one that paid in advance, smart enough to know Biden was compromised. Everybody had a great day. Sorry to be such a long video, but crazy news each and every day. Over and out.